Welcome. In this video, we are looking at the market survey, also called after storage surveys, which are the surveys that the cold room operator and the cooling user are asked to fill in to understand what is the impact of cold storage on the user losses and revenues. As a reminder, this information is then compared with the baseline information that the cooling user were asked to fill in when they first joined the cold room to then understand what's the evolution of post-harvest losses and farmers' revenue by using cooling. So the cold room operator is asked to support cooling users in filling in the surveys, especially for users that don't have a smartphone. This is a responsibility of the cold room operator to actually ensure that the farmers fill in the surveys. Now, to access the surveys, the cold room operator will see that every Monday, new surveys are published for all the checkouts and crops that were checked out in the previous week. So by clicking on the bell here, the cold room operator can access a set of notifications that will look like this. They basically say that a market survey needs to be filled in for a specific user and movement. For example, let's try to fill in this market survey here. What we can do is we can basically click on the blue part of this notification and a market survey will open where for this specific user, we are asked to complete very quick information about the aubergine or eggplants that the user has been storing last week. As you see here, the survey is very short. It just asks you 3 questions. The first question is, where was the produce sold? And for example, let's imagine that this was sold at a local market. What price was received for a given amount of this produce sold? And this can be done, can be answered in all these different units. So for example, let's imagine that the price was, I don't know, 400 naira per kilos. How much of the produce that was stored was actually spoiled? Maybe in this case, only 3 kilos were spoiled. And then actually there is a fourth question, which is about what are the reasons for crop spoilage? And this, of course, can be left blank in case nothing it was spoiled. But let's imagine that in this case, it was handled sort of badly after it left the cold storage, and this is why it got spoiled. This is really everything. So in this case, the cold room operator can click on confirm, and the survey is considered filled in. Now, last thing that I want to show you is that you can access those market survey also from the history page. So here we are under history, right? More history. This is where we are. And when you click here on the 3 dots, you will see that for some checkouts, the option of filling in market survey is active. So it's clickable. That's what we do now. And if you click on that, then you see that for this user ban, there are 2 market surveys that needs to be filled in. The one is clickable is the one for bananas. So same set of informations, but in this case for this user and bananas. And what we have seen here is that there is another survey that is not accessible. So it's grayed out. And this is because for that specific user ban, we have not filled in the baseline survey for beans. And as we were saying, it's important to have first the information about the baseline survey to then compare with the after storage survey. And this is why the cold room operator is first asked to complete the cooling user survey for that specific commodities. In that case, it was beans. And then after the information for beans is completed, then we can also fill in this information. This is going to become black, so clickable, and then the information for that specific crop type, it's also going to be filled in. So in conclusion, in this video, we have seen how we can fill in market surveys. The market surveys are accessible either from the notification panel or accessible from the checkout directly if they're clickable here. The market survey remain available for 2 weeks after the checkout. And so what I want to show you is that, for example, if we look at the very old checkout, the option of filling in the market surveys is grayed out. And also what's important to understand is that for the market survey, what we're asking is we're asking at multiple time points. So after every checkout, we're asking the cooling users to fill in this information. And this is important because we know that there are elements, as for example, the seasonality that might impact on the price and potentially also the amount stored. So what we do is we compare one single baseline survey per crop and user with multiple after storage or market surveys for that same user and crop type.